last video that I have to make, at least tonight. After I get all the group stage wrong, I will go back and look at it again and review it with you guys. But today we're going through Group D of SI 2023, finally to Group D. One of the more fun groups, actually. I think Group A and Group D are probably the two most fun groups there are. Real quick, before we get into the video, I would like to kind of shout out my Twitch stream. It's in the link below. If any of you want to watch it, I do a lot of R6 content whenever I'm streaming. That's like I guess it's my comfort stream is R6, which is weird because that's what I started off streaming on. But I stream a couple other things, but R6 is the main thing. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so the first team we're going to talk about in Group D is FaZe Clan. Now, FaZe Clan is the number 4 overall power rated team in my rankings. They have an ELO score of 4,500, which places them in Emerald 2. FaZe is one of the most iconic brands in esports, and they've been a really solid team in the scene of Rainbow Six for the last few years. Everyone who's been watching should know them. They're basically the same group with a little twist, a little spice this year. So first things first, not a great stage 1 for them. They placed 6 in the BR6, then 2 straight third place finishes in stage 2 and 3. When you look at their major placements, they were 2nd in Berlin and then 5th through 8th in Sweden. So 2 relatively good showings from them. If you look at their BR6 stats, they are only 15 and 12. So, I mean, that kind of points out how tough BR6 is if a team like FaZe Clan is having that much trouble. And their major win-loss is a 14 and 10, so they have almost as many wins in their majors, only going to 2, as they do throughout 3 stages of BR6. Looking at the team, 4/5 of this is the same old. Astro, Bullet, Cyber, Souls, 4 really iconic guys in the scene. And then now, with an addition of Vidaking. Vidaking. I think Vidaking sounds better, so I'm going to go Vidaking for now until I hear the actual announcers say it. I've not seen him play yet, but I'm really excited to see how he will play with these other guys. Looking at this team, I mean, it's obvious Souls is kind of the big fragger, him and Cyber. But I mean, Astro and Bullet are more than capable players that have done this for a long time. I think the addition of Vidaking, though, will add a little spice to this team and could push them back up to winning SI 2023 maybe. The weird thing is they haven't played any of the 4 teams in this group, so it's going to be kind of an unknown for FaZe Clan coming in. However, I am supremely confident in this group getting out of group stage at least, so I'm going to at least give them a 90% chance to make it to the playoff stage. All right, number 2 we have Dark Zero, and they place 1 spot behind FaZe Clan at FaZe Clan. Wow, FaZe Clan at number 5. Did I say that again? I don't know. Anyway, Dark Zero ranks out with an ELO of 4,460, which places them in Emerald 2, despite a little bit of a shakiness during stage 2 and 3. If you look at their placements during NAL, they were fairly solid. 3rd place, 5th place, 5th place. 5th place isn't bad, but it's not going to get you to a major. Speaking of getting to majors, the only time they've gotten to one, they won the whole damn thing. And that was Charlotte, and they looked crisp. They looked probably, I've said this a couple times about teams that have won, but that was the best I've seen Dark Zero play in a long time. If you look at their NAL stats, they're 16 and 11. That's not terrible. Then you look at their major stats, they are 12 and 5, which is, I mean, you kind of expect that if the only one you went to, you won. So, I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. If you look at the team, there's a lot of familiar faces. NJR, Pambazoo, Canadian, Skies, which Skies has been on Dark Zero, they've been on SSG. He's kind of been a little bit of everywhere lately. But then you see a new face. Gavani, I'm probably butchering that, but I'm gonna go with Gavani for now. Gavani was on a tier 2 team. He played very well. They were very successful. He's being brought up to give a little bit of flexibility and maybe some fragging power too. That would be a plus as well. He's trial by fire though, so we'll see. On the other end, Skies has played really well with Dark Zero. I like the addition. But also Canadian, one of the all-time winners in R6. Pambazoo, who is one of the better young players in the league. And same thing with NJR. Both of these guys are really good. But if you look at their head-to-head matchups, they do have some, unlike FaZe Clan. Those teams would be, they played Heroic, and they're 2-0 against them. That 2-0 was really close. They've also beaten M80 2 out of the 3 times, going 7-5, 7-1 in the wins, but also losing a 5-7. So it's been a little close here as well. Well, look, Dark Zero, I'm pretty confident in. They have been pretty solid in every little outing they've had. They've never just been looking bad. They've been like, okay, maybe not as good as before. But with that being said, I'm going to give them a 85% chance to make it. A little unsteady at times, but they've been good. They have never just been bad, in my opinion, and I don't think they're going to get down to below like a secret. Third on our list is Heroic, who, hey, they cracked the top 10. I don't think they're top 10 anymore, but throughout the season, they were top 10. Heroic ended the season with a ELO score of 4,315, which was good enough to place them in Emerald 2. If you look at their placements, Stage 1 in EUL, they were first place overall. They looked absolutely stunning, fantastic. Didn't look like anyone could stop them. Stage 2, they were all right, 5th place. And Stage 4, they were also just all right in 4th place. But their major placements leave a lot to be desired. Charlotte, they were 13th to 15th. That is with W7M not being present at the event and still being below them. And then Sweden, they were 9th through 12th, so slightly better. But we got some big news coming later of why I'm not as convinced with this. Look at their EUL stats, pretty great. 19 and 8, that's really good. And then you look at their major stats, 5 and 7, that's not horrible. That'd be good enough to maybe get to playoffs, but not very encouraging. If you look at this team, it is a jumble. You have Grizzly, Uno, and Jume, who are all have been on this team for the most part of the year. But then 2 new additions, one of them being Noodle, who I'm actually pretty familiar with. He played on Skullcrackers, one of the teams there, and he kind of made, like, he was one of the guys that made them better. Is he going to be able to raise from Mexico Siege, which I think is a growing spot in the scene, to the 6th Invitational? That's going to be tough. And then Sloth, who I thought had a great Stage 1, then didn't perform very well in the major, and then kind of has been on the reserve team ever since. Looking at this team, there's just not a whole lot of fragging power. You're gonna have to rely on Sloth and Jume for a lot of it, and hope Noodle maybe has some of it, because Grizzly and Uno aren't just fraggers at heart. They can get you frags, but that's just not their forte. If you look at the head-to-head, it's not looking great for Heroic. They're 0-2 against Dark Zero and 1-2 against Secret. That bodes really bad for Heroic, because Secret was probably the worst team at 6th Invitational, and Heroic has a losing record against them. We'll start with DZ. Look, close, 5-7, 6-8. This was a really close series. Heroic could not get a win. Secret, I mean, you look at Stage 1, they just blitzed them 7-2, but then you look, Stage 2, okay, an 8-7 overtime loss, that's tough. Then Stage 3, oh, that's tough, another 8-7 overtime loss. Heroic scares me. This is a very scary team. I think we're a shaky team that has gotten worse. They lost their best player in Benjameister to G2, and right now I think they're probably one of the worst teams here. I hope that's not the case, because I like Heroic and I like a lot of the guys on here, but I'm gonna have to go with about a 45% chance that Heroic get out of the group stage. All right, next team, number 18 overall, M80. M80 is Xset, Xset is M80. Just going to kind of let y'all know that. Very similar thing to Koi, except I think M80 and Xset are just like kind of partnered, and M80 is more of the Rainbow Six scene of it. I don't know how it works. It's a little confusing. M80 is a Plat 1 team who, with an ELO score of 4,110, and have played very outstandingly well. I think they're a little better than that ELO score, but they started so low because they were under the Xsec brand. Then they bring in a lot of guys and get better, like Yaga, Kino, Spirits, GMZ, and Diaz Lucas. All these guys are great and have been really, really good for the org. If you look at their stage placements, 4th place Stage 1, 4th place Stage 2, 8th place Stage 3 for NAL. Look, they kind of struggled down the stretch there, but I'm not going to take a whole lot away from that. What I will take a lot away from is their major placements. You look at Charlotte, 5th through 8th in their first ever, well, Kino and Yaga have been there, but 3/5 of the team's first ever major, they make 5th through 8th. And then the next one, they go 3rd and 4th. So outstanding team. They built a lot throughout the year, and I'm really excited to see what they got here. If you look at their NAL stats, they were only 14 and 13, which is a little concerning. And at the major, they are 13 and 7, so just way better at the major. I don't know if they just like playing international play. That kind of reminds me a lot of TSM. TSM was always just not a great NAL team like the past few years, but they, like, whenever they go to international events like SI, they go and win the whole damn thing, apparently. Looking at this team, look, Yaga and Kino are the veteran leadership here. They have been here before. They've been to an SI, and both of them have played very, very well for this team. Then you got Spirits, GMZ, and Diaz Lucas, two of the younger guys that were brought on. I'm pretty sure most of them from Area Larise, if not all of them. And the biggest one here is Diaz Lucas. Diaz Lucas and Yaga are just the main fraggers on this team, even though Kino is also a pretty good fragger as well. This team is very balanced. They have good fraggers, and they have a lot of young talent, and I'm really, really excited. I don't know if I would call them SI contenders, like for the whole thing, but they're getting close, in my opinion. If you look at the head-to-heads, the only team they've played here is Dark Zero, and they're 1 and 2 against them. However, only one of those losses just weren't even close. If you look at Stage 1, they won 7-5. Stage 2, they lost 5-7, and then Stage 3, they did lose pretty badly, 1-7 to DZ. M80, I have got a lot of excitement for them. I'm not going to lie, you can kind of hear it in my voice. And I'm fairly certain they're not going to be the team coming home after the group stage. So I'm going to give them a 75% chance to make it out of here. And that's kind of what I'm going to stick with. All right, last team of the group stages. Team Secret, by far my lowest power rated team. They were rated all the way at number 34. They were like, before they went through the closed qualifiers, they were below, I think, teams like Six Karma and Furious Gaming, some of these South American countries, Latin American countries that aren't from Brazil, which, by the way, I think are underrated. You should go watch some of that content. I think it's good for the scene. Anyway, Secret placed 9th place in all 3 EUL stages. They were just terrible. They were not the worst, but terrible. They didn't make it to a single major, and they go through and win close qualifiers over, albeit not great teams in Navi, Outsiders, even though I think Outsiders, I mean, I thought Outsiders were going to win it. They have a pretty stacked looking lineup. They're basically Empire-esque. So kudos to Team Secret for pulling through at the end. If you look at their EUL stats, I mean, it's just atrocious. They do have 9, actually, I take that back, 9 wins, 18 losses. That is pretty bad, actually. That's doubling the losses. But I didn't know they had 9 wins. That's not bad. It is bad, but you know what I mean. It's not as bad as I thought. Majors, obviously, they didn't make one. You look at the team. Sleben, I mean, long-time NA guy. Well, I say long time. He was there for a little bit, and now he's been in the UL again for a while. Kindrew, been around for a long time. He knows how to win. Savage, Astro, and Grubby. Again, terrible stats, but this team has really come together, and they're not, I mean, Sleben has a lot of fragging potential, so does Savage, and Grubby as well at times, but, I mean, wait, not Grubby, and Astro as well at times. This team, I mean, look, I'm giving them a 45% chance to make it out of here. I'm just going to spoil that, but I might surprise y'all later in the video. Looking at the head-to-heads, again, they lost to, they have a winning record over Heroic. I'm just saying, Team Secret just built different, man. They're better than Heroic, apparently. All jokes aside, look, I'm glad Team Secret's back in the scene. Like, this is the first time they've been, like, at this high of an event. Well, this is the highest event you can get to, I guess, in a long, long time. So it's a good thing for the scene, and I love to see Secret here. All right, now what you've all been waiting for, Group D's predictions. Okay, so I'm going to predict 1st through 5th, just like I have in the other videos. I'm going to start with number 1. I predict FaZe Clan will be the number 1 overall team from here. Now, there's 2 really strong contenders to upset that pick, and that'd be M80 and Dark Zero, which are my 2nd and 3rd picks, because I think both those NA teams are really, really good and have potential to go far in this event. But FaZe Clan is just really, really good. 4th place, drum roll please. Secret, look, they got the 2-1 advantage on Heroic. I'm sipping on that juice. I'm believing in this team. I should take that back. It's gonna bite me in the ass, isn't it? But anyway, no, yeah, I'm going for it. Screw it. Team Secret 4th. I'm making the ballsy play, and then Heroic 5th. Look, I think Team Secret and Heroic, talent-wise, are pretty close now. And Secret has already beaten Heroic twice with lesser talent. Well, on paper, lesser talent. I mean, you can't really just say they're lesser talented. They beat them 2 out of the 3 times. So yeah, that's my ballsy prediction. It's probably not even that ballsy. I'm sure I've actually seen a couple people do that. I think Caliber Jacob did it as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Honestly, it's been really fun doing this, despite all the ailments I've had to deal with doing it. But hey, this has been fun. I hope y'all have had some fun. And yeah, I want to do this again. This was good. Yeah, I want to do this again. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all here in a bit after the group stages. See ya. Damn, can I do an outro that's not cringy? Like, is that possible for me? I don't think so.